For Pete's sake, man.
Hello, everyone. Excellent intro there, Gibby. Welcome to For Pete's Sake. As always, I'm Pete, joined alongside by Ryan and Trev.
You gotta stop calling me Ryan.
Rye guy.
That's even worse. It's Gibby. Just call me Gibby.
Gentlemen, we are home to the undefeated Detroit Lions.
Doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, they had that tie mixed in there.
Definitely not a legitimate undefeated.
Hey, they haven't lost a game yet. 1-0-1. Undefeated in my book.
Are we just diving right into the Lions here?
Diving right in. I felt like, Gibby, let me just say this. These two teams, the Chargers and Lions, they weren't competing for who was going to win that game, but who could find the worst way to lose? Because it feels like we're the mirror image of each other, basically, just finding a tough way to lose each game.
I think you nailed that one spot on. Like, it was just another ugly game to watch. I swear I would just watch so much ugly, just hard to sit through football.
Lions football right there.
Why am I doing this to myself? And it wasn't even enjoyable.
Grind out that win.
There's so many missed kicks from both teams here and just not that much scoring. And, I mean, we looked okay, I guess, and we came out on top, but... Well, these two teams are just, like, average.
The Chargers fumbled at the 1-yard line. Rivers threw a pick. They threw it in the end zone or near the end zone, at least, at the sleigh. And I believe they missed 2 field goals. So
yeah, they threw their punter out there trying to kick field goals.
We really didn't deserve to be in this game at all.
No, I mean, it easily could have been a loss. I mean, it was one of those games that could have went either way. And, I mean, I think the Chargers are going to be like an 8-8 team, and I think that's kind of where I see us right now.
Well, we can't go 8-8. We got that tie.
Oh, called me out for it.
Could we go 7-7-2?
We could, very well.
It's possible.
Has a team ever tied twice in the
season? I was
season?
hoping to go 0-16.
I thought for a second we were going to go to overtime that game, and I thought, well, could we become like the first team to ever tie the first 2 games of the NFL season?
I think, this is just off the top of my head, but I want to say San Francisco tied 2 games like a few seasons ago.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Not back-to-back, though, at the beginning.
Not back-to-back, but in the same season.
That would have been a Lions thing to do.
Yeah, but I mean, just talking about the Chargers, they were dealing with a lot of injuries, and I mean, a win's a win, but I don't take that many positives out of this game other than the fact that we won a football game.
Well, I believe you heard it here first. I believe we're the first news outlet to say that the Lions are going to win that game, if I remember correctly.
We were talking them up last week, just considering all the injuries that the Chargers had.
Well, and Trev, you pointed out a couple weeks ago that the Lions usually win a game like this, that you don't think that they are going to win because there's a better team that they're playing, but they'll still come out on top.
Yeah, like you guys said, though, I think the Chargers are more...
I wouldn't classify them as a good team.
They regressed from last year, it looks like.
They might be slightly ahead of us talent-wise, but they're on our level to an extent. I still think we'll pull it out against a team that we have no business beating at some point.
So kind of like a Philadelphia or Kansas City, who are next on the schedule?
Rolling right into that one.
I mean, we got to give our fans some false hope here before they inevitably tear it down like they always do.
Same, we're going 3-0-1, defeating the Eagles and the Chiefs there.
I don't think we're getting
the Eagles. I mean, if we want to start talking about the Eagles, they did look pretty bad. I think they were playing the Sunday night game, and they had so many injuries that they were dealing with. Deshaun Jackson was injured. Jeffries was injured. One of their tight ends was injured. Even Carson Wentz went down at one point, and they had to put Josh McCown in the game.
Didn't know he was still playing.
Yeah, no. Apparently, he was coaching his kid's high school football team, and they needed another quarterback because their backup quarterback is injured too. So they brought him up, and I guess he got thrown into that game.
Saying the Falcons defeated the Eagles.
Yeah, the Falcons won, and I mean the Falcons didn't look that great either. And I think if the Eagles do have some injuries, I think we can maybe even hang around in that game
next week.
Yeah,
I see the Eagles soaring past the Lions.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. That's probably what's going to happen.
They nailed that one.
Yeah, the way this Eagles team is constructed, especially coming off the week they had, they're going to be frustrated and they're just going to put like 50 on us.
I believe it's at the Eagles as well.
Yeah, it's in Philadelphia.
We're a 7-point dog right now.
I mean, no surprise there. Really, with this team, I'm in wait and see mode. I'm not overly something like that. Just kind of seeing where they're at. I wasn't super impressed with the D-line. We invested a lot in our D-line, and they really haven't been like even noticeable. Not even like good. Like when our expectation was they would be great, one of the best D lines in the league.
I haven't really seen Trey Flowers yet. I know we paid him a ton of money in the offseason. I haven't really seen him make a big play. I kind of forget he's out there. So hopefully he's gets going as a good week here.
Even Snacks really hasn't done that much. I don't think he had a single tackle on Sunday.
Well, we're ranked number 20 on the ESPN Power Rankings. Think that's fair right there?
Yeah, I mean you can just throw us in like wherever, bottom half. Like we'll see how we do against the Eagles, and then I can make some serious judgments from that point on.
I believe it's a little bit disrespectful to one of the remaining undefeated teams in the league. Don't you think there, Trev?
No. I mean, honestly,
You can't even call us undefeated.
We haven't lost.
We very much well could be 0-2.
But we're not.
We arguably tied the probably the third worst team in the league, though, week 1. Like, Arizona's been probably more promising than what people expected, but they're still not going to do anything this year.
Yeah, I mean we'll just have to see what happens these next 2 weeks here.
Excellent coverage there. Do you guys? What's a prediction for this week?
An L,
Yeah,
but I think we're gonna keep it close.
I'm going for an L. I think we'll have a late comeback, but I think it's going to fall short. What do you think, Trev?
52-21 Eagles.
Oh,
A lot of scoring in that game.
good for fantasy there. Well, another news around the NFL, gentlemen, the Eli Manning era is officially over.
Is it?
He will be benched for Daniel Jones. What do you guys think about that one?
Do you think Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer?
Oh, it's a classic debate to have. He's got 2 rings, so I might put him in there.
I feel like that's his only argument
It's a good
that
argument
will get
to
him
have,
in the
though.
Hall of Fame.
It's a good argument. Do you think he'll get in?
He'll be in there one day.
Yeah,
Trev?
not only is it the 2 rings, but he's beaten the best organization in football twice to do it.
Yeah.
It's
So-
true. 2 big games. Are 16-0 or 18-0. He defeated them.
Yeah, he beat an undefeated Patriots team. Granted, not by himself. That was more the Giants' defense. But
Yeah, he threw like 2 good passes that game, but
There
there
was more Tyreek than anyone else.
Yeah, it was. That's the only catch I feel like that guy ever had in the NFL. Just that one catch.
Yeah.
plus, in the second one, you had that Mario Manningham.
Yeah, that
grab.
was a great snag too.
Exactly. Well, the era appears to be over. He might be back, later in the season. I heard somebody say that, maybe he could get traded to the Steelers or the Jets. And, why would you want...
To trade yeah, that doesn't make sense. I mean, I think
What are you giving up? Like a 7th-round pick? What are you giving up for Eli Manning?
exactly.
Cash.
He can't move. I believe he has a no-trade clause as well.
Why would you want him on your team? He's
Well-
only gonna play 1 more year.
Did you watch the Jets on Monday night there?
Yeah, I did. I saw, is it Trevor Simeon? I saw his ankle shatter in half, and then somehow he's still able to walk off the field. That was incredible.
Well, he was in the game because Sam Darnold has mono. Is that the first time you've heard of an athlete having mononucleosis?
I've never heard of a 4-year-old guy get mono before. That's pretty old to be getting mono.
That's what- It's
Yeah,
for
honestly, I
teenagers,
thought
isn't it?
that stopped after sophomore
high
year
school,
in college,
early
maybe,
college,
at the
yeah.
latest.
Well, he's got it. And
on and off the field, he's got it, right?
One could say.
Nice. Well, the danger of it is apparently it increases the size of your kidneys or something, which is dangerous. Obviously, if you're getting hit, you don't want something to happen there. Especially if they're enlarged.
Ruptures or something like that.
Exactly. My question is, if you had to pick one New York team to watch, who would you pick?
Are we talking football?
We're talking football. No, we're talking hockey.
Oh, I
Of course
mean, I
talking
thought you were
football.
throwing everything out there. That's a tough
You think of the
decision. It doesn't make the conversation any easier if you throw the Knicks in there.
New York
Those are-
sports at the moment, man.
the
The
Jets
Yankees are good.
You
But
can't watch with Darnold. The Jets are watchable.
yeah, Le'Veon Bell. I mean,
Yeah.
so Saquon's on the Giants. I guess 2 good running backs, but
I mean, I guess I would say the Giants just because they're switching it up at quarterback a little bit.
a little bit of hope there.
I would rather watch the Yankees and Rangers play football over their current sports than watch either of these teams, to be totally honest with you.
Couldn't agree more with you there, Trev. We always forget, though, the Buffalo Bills are also in New York. Technically, they're the only team in New York.
Well, so are the
Little Josh
Sabres.
Allen in there.
Yeah, he's looked great so far, man. Well, the Bills beat the Jets and the Giants. I mean, not 2 big wins there, but still, 2-0. Undefeated like the
Yeah,
Lions.
I mean, Josh Allen's an exciting guy to watch.
Yeah, you can only beat what's in front of you, too. So
it's very true.
Speaking of quarterbacks, I know we talked a little bit in the past about Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, and you guys were a little bit hesitant to buy in at first.
Who's your fantasy QB, Gibby?
Obviously Lamar, man. He's
Just
not a running back.
Just want to check that.
Do you think the Ravens are the best team in the AFC North now? given Ben Roethlisberger's recent injury.
Oh yeah, well you don't trust the Browns. I mean, they're like the Lions of the past, couple of decades there.
Yeah, they have talent, but they're not proven. And obviously Cincinnati's in the tank right now.
Oof.
Yeah.
Although Cincinnati has played pretty tough.
I will say Andy Dalton is leading the league in passing yards this year.
Red Rifle.
Yeah, no, he's been going off, like getting the ball to dudes like John Ross, who like came out of nowhere.
Is he the only redheaded quarterback you can think of, just like ever?
Isn't
like the only
Fitzpatrick a
ginger in the NFL?
Is Fitzpatrick a ginger?
He's got the beard, and the beard's kind of red, but
I feel like at this point,
he's not like a
it's kinda
full-on
like,
ginge.
Yeah, that's true. Andy Rifle, right?
Andy
Dalton.
That's what they should call him, honestly.
It's
with
not a
that
bad
rifle
nickname.
arm.
Well, yeah, I think the Ravens would be the top team there. Talk about injuries, Big Ben. If that non-contact throwing injury for his right arm, which is, I don't think they've released exactly what's wrong yet.
Like maybe some Tommy John or something going on.
He's gonna be 38 years old.
Might call it a career. I mean, he's got some time left on his contract.
Who's had the better career, Eli or Big Ben? It's got to be Big Ben.
Big
right?
Ben by far.
He's-
Eli's won 2 games.
That's a dumb
when it
question.
counts,
I'm
but
sorry.
They're both Hall of Famers, but Big Ben's been way more consistent throughout his career, even through the whole motorcycle accident thing from a while ago.
Yeah, well, he's definitely not the most popular quarterback because of those.
the dude has been injured his whole career. Like, who even knows? I mean, I know they're saying he's out for a season, but who knows?
You don't think he's out for the season?
No, he's out for the year.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say they came out and said it.
We were talking a little bit about some facial hair there too, and what are you guys' thoughts on Gardner Minshew?
Oh, he's got the stash, right? Kind of
Yeah.
looks like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite,
You
right?
think he's legit?
No. What's his last name?
Minshew.
What's his first name?
Gardner.
Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, I mean, he almost pulled off the upset last
did.
week against Houston.
You gotta respect a QB for third stash.
I gotta say, regardless of his game, the stash is legit,
It looks awesome.
and that's really all that matters.
I agree. And they lost. You talking Jaguars football there, Gabe? I think we should just move on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can transition to a little college football now. And
Well, I'm not done with the NFL yet, Gibby.
oh man,
Get to
jumping
that in
the
a
gun
minute.
there.
The other big QB injury was Drew Brees.
That's a tough one.
Probably the biggest
Tough
one.
loss.
That has the biggest playoff implications, I guess, especially for the NFC.
Besides Eli going out.
Oh, of course. Well, the Giants are about due for a run. That's like, every 5 or 6 years or so?
Can't spell elite without Eli.
Can't.
I
But
mean,
Drew Brees always has a huge injury.
I will say that Bridgewater, I think he'll be able to hold his own. Yeah, something like that as the backup quarterback there, and they got what's
Taysom Hill?
Taysom Hill.
Something like that.
He's good.
Yeah,
He's an
Taysom.
athlete. Throw him in the Wildcat.
Yeah, I think they should be able to go. They say he might be out 6 weeks, maybe 3-3 there. Bridgewater, like you said, was a starting quarterback a couple years ago, so hopefully he can keep him afloat there. I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, they also have a good enough offensive line and running back depth to really sort of shift their offense into a more run-oriented system. I think you're going to see a lot more touches for Kamara these next few
You
weeks.
can just throw the ball up to Thomas too and let him do his thing too.
I hope you're right, Trev. I got Kamara on my fantasy team.
Well, if that works out for you, you heard it here first.
Talk about not having these players on your fantasy team. The Miami Dolphins, man. I think you couldn't get any worse from that Ravens game, but man,
Can
did you see Fitzpatrick's interceptions back to back?
No, why would I be watching that? He threw him back to back.
Yeah, back to back pick
God.
sixes.
I feel bad for that guy.
He's probably the only Miami Dolphin I can even name.
Yeah, I was gonna
Josh
say.
Rosen.
He's
Josh
still in
Rosen?
the league.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't count. Name another one.
Name a non-quarterback Miami
Yeah.
Dolphin.
Kenyon Drake.
See, he hasn't been traded yet.
No, not yet.
I know they just traded Fitzpatrick, or not the quarterback.
Not-
Minka Fitzpatrick. Yeah.
They traded Ryan Fitzpatrick for a first round pick there, Gabe.
Try to sneak that in there. Sneak that in the trade clause.
I bet they wish they could, man. Well, they're going full on tank for Tua, right?
It's so obvious too.
QB from Alabama. They have like 3 first round picks next year. And I don't think the Steelers are going to be that good for the rest of the year, so that could be a pretty high
No,
pick.
that could be a top 10 pick easily.
Yeah, why? If you're the Steelers, like, why do you make that move?
I
I
have
feel
no
like that's
idea.
just like desperation.
They've been at the end of
desperation
their
shot.
window for 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
now, too. They should really start trying to transition away from the Roethlisberger era into something new.
Well, I don't feel like we talked about this last week, but I don't think we've ever seen tanking like this in the NFL. As you said last week, Trev, we've seen like incompetent teams that were still trying to win. They just weren't good enough to win.
Yeah, the Lions and Browns, both the other 2 0-16 teams, they were just really poorly run, and that was a result of years and years of incompetence and negligence finally piling on.
Think the Dolphins win a game?
It doesn't look like it.
I mean, they don't want to, it looks like.
I heard this point earlier, though. They do have to play the Jets twice.
Oof.
So
big matchup
if
there.
there's a,
I mean, Darnold's not going to be out for the year, though.
Battle for the
no,
number
but
one
they
pick.
might play them before he's back.
Yeah.
So if that's the case,
There's a
that's their
chance.
opportunity. Yeah.
Sunday Night Football right there.
Oh, God.
Battle for the first win.
Who knows, too? Maybe they run into a team at the end of the year that's already clinched a playoff spot and is just trying to rest guys. But
Well, the best part of the NFL season, I think we can all agree, is the fantasy football. We've been saying that for weeks here.
100%.
it's the only reason I watch the NFL.
Well, I want to read to you guys the top scorers so far, because I'm sure you guys had this predicted accurately at the beginning of the season.
Are
The
you
top
saying, like,
scorers.
from just last week or so far
So
the entire
far,
season?
Entire season. I'm going position by position here.
Yeah,
Those
let's
six
hear it.
positions. Quarterback, you like this one, Gibby, Lamar Jackson.
My mans.
Dak Prescott also having a great year. Those two are at the top. Both can run a little bit, get those rushing yards, rushing
I
touchdowns.
think that's kind of comes out of nowhere, too. No one really expected to see those kind of numbers from those two guys.
Except for you.
I mean, I picked him up as a free agent.
Yeah, very similar players, though, in terms
Yeah.
of their style and how the offense has been sort of manufactured around both of them.
Jackson's also versus the Dolphins defense and the Cardinals defense so far, so pump the brakes a little bit there, Gibby.
Oh, 100%.
The top running back has been Austin Eckler, so was the backup for the Chargers.
I mean, the dude can do it all. He can run. He can catch.
He's like a wide receiver back there almost. Tough for Melvin Gordon owners though. Stadwick. Tough one for them. Top wide receiver, Trev, I know you predicted this one before the season, that Sammy Watkins be the top wide receiver so far.
Yeah, he's on a new team, isn't he, for this year?
He's on Kansas City still.
Oh, well, I thought that was a new team for him.
Oh, he got hurt last year.
I always remember him being on Buffalo, but it's good to see him back. He's got the talent to be a number one guy.
Sam
and
I am.
especially, they're still without Tyreek Hill, right?
Believe
Yeah.
so.
So it makes sense in that Kansas City offense they would be doing so well early on.
Oh, just any Chiefs wide receiver. They just run deep the whole time. Mahomes just throws it deep. So, great player to have there. Tight end, Mark Andrews.
That came out of nowhere, too.
Yeah, no one saw that one coming.
I don't even know who this dude
Solid,
is.
solid fantasy pickup. I mean, it's just
No one
Lamar
does.
Jackson getting his tight ends the ball.
Yep. Top defense is obviously the Patriots after last week. If you want to get a good defense, just look for who's playing the Dolphins. I know I did this
Honestly.
week.
They're playing Dallas.
Yeah, and the Cowboys defense is probably going to have a great time there.
Oh yeah.
And then the top kicker is Joey Sly. There's no image of him.
What team? I don't even know.
The Panthers.
Yeah, because the Panthers can't score a touchdown.
Yeah, it makes
Just
sense.
get them in field goal range.
Like, is it their offensive line? Because you look at their weapons and you think they would have
It's
a better
Newton,
offense
man.
than they
Newton's
do.
just off this year. They're saying there's a rumor floating around that he might not even play this Sunday.
Got an injured foot there.
Is it injured or is it injured?
I don't know. Good thing the listeners can tell you did the air quotes there. That was good.
Great.
Yeah, talk about a quarterback that's really fallen off the last few years, though. Since that Super Bowl run, he's just...
Superman.
Yeah, no, he's been on the decline ever since. Kind of sad to see.
Forget that he went to that Super Bowl, actually.
Yeah, most people do.
He won MVP, I think, too.
That was against Peyton Manning's Broncos.
Oh, man. That was a tough year for Peyton Manning. I know he won the Super Bowl, but watching him play was tough.
Plus,
He
that's-
fell off
It was
quick.
his defense that won him that.
Absolutely.
Plus, he had that friendship with Papa John. He was like the only celebrity on the sideline.
Remember
that
Papa
game.
John? Yeah, he was on the
Yeah,
field.
The original Papa John.
He gave him the hug, right, after the game?
Yeah.
That's
That-
when he said they asked him like what he was gonna do. He said, "I'm gonna drink a Budweiser," instead of saying he's going to Disney World.
Omaha!
Honestly,
That's what he used to say.
we need more quarterbacks with that sort of mindset in the media.
And that forehead.
Huge forehead, massive.
I don't know how his helmet got on there, man. Now we're just kidding, Peyton Manning. I'm sure he's listening in. I think that wraps up our Week 2 NFL coverage there. Any other things you guys want to bring up?
I'm all set.
Trev, I know you're a big fan, so.
I kind of want to stall because I don't want to talk about college football yet.
Oh, we got to get into the MSU game, man.
Of course. I got to say, I was glad that... actually, I wasn't, because racing got pushed to the nighttime, so I actually had to watch a little bit of NFL this week. And,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Did you enjoy it?
it killed the time,
There you go. That's all we're looking for, Trev.
of course.
Excellent analysis by you there. To this MSU game, Gibby. So, tough loss to Arizona State again, 13-10. Missed field goal, too many men on the field.
the worst, just like MSU football game I think I've ever watched.
Well, we should have got the re-kick. Did you see that?
I mean, you can't even blame it on that
I
call
know.
at that point. I mean, the refereeing that entire game was god awful. And I
Well-
feel we did get screwed, but at the very end of the game, there was that pass interference call that was really questionable that got us in field goal range. And Coughlin's got to make one of those kicks. You can't. Coughlin's got to get it together, and I don't even want to blame it all on our kicker. There's a lot of coaching mishaps going on that entire game too.
No, you can't blame this game at all on the referees. This is all down to Mark D'Antonio.
Oh, hot take, Trev. Let's hear it.
I mean, we've had, what is it now? It's the same offensive coaches for however many years, last 4 or 5. I think the year we went to the playoffs, we were like a top 5 offense in the country.
He's been persistent in keeping these guys on his coaching staff the entire time.
He just rotates them around.
He's been reshuffling broken parts, hoping that just putting him in a new spot will fix the problem, but it's not going to happen. Brad Salem, Dave Warner, it doesn't matter. Anyone on the offensive coaching staff currently is not going to fix it.
You can feel the passion.
I think the sooner we get rid of everyone on the offensive staff, the better for the program.
No, that's what it's going to come down to. Does D'Antonio want to rebuild this thing or not? Like I think this is going to be his last year. He's either got to buy into this, reshape what we are, just reshape the entire program, bring in new coaches, younger coaches who like make it look like we're just not running the same offense for the last couple years.
Yeah, just someone with different ideas than what we've had, other than like a jet sweep or the check down screen or whatever.
Yeah, it's either that or he's got to retire.
Well, I've noticed. Oh wow, hot take there. I've noticed that they've been refusing to kind of run the end around this year, trying to make it seem like they're running a different offense. I haven't seen too many of them, but like I said, the rest of the offense looks the same. They've only put up 10 points. Struggled against who was their first matchup? Was it Tulsa? Struggled in that one.
Offense struggled there too. Our defense scored 9 points in that game, and I mean that's the only reason why this team is at least average is because we're wasting these defenses.
I think I had about 8 wins for the season. I think that might be about right. I think we'll lose to a couple more good teams throughout the year.
I don't know. Honestly, after this performance, we could be 7-5. I don't trust this offense against anyone.
Well, I had us win in that game, and I had us at 8-4. So yeah, 7-5 could be realistic.
We're going to lose to someone else we shouldn't lose to at some point here. I get the feeling.
I think
We've
we
always
play,
struggled with Northwestern too.
Even Indiana. I don't know if I think we play them too, and
It's just not looking good. It's good. All these games are just going to be tough watches. Where, I'm hoping our offense can show up, and like we're getting guys in there like Collins and Williams, both running backs who've been looking good, but then we're still putting like Hayward in on big plays like 4th and 1. Why is our coaching staff doing that? Like give our playmakers the ball.
Also, our coaching staff seems very reluctant to use play action at all.
Yeah, no, just like incompetent, I think is the best word to come up for it. Like it was 4th and 15 at the very end of that game, and why is our defense calling 2 timeouts? Like figure it out. The only reason the ASU quarterback, a true freshman, doesn't even weigh 170 pounds, is able to run the ball on our defense. Like put a spy on him. We have 3 guys rushing the quarterback. Our best players on our defense are if I can talk, are our linemen. And we're taking him off the field to throw in safeties.
Oh, I was calling for a spy on that play too. He's a running quarterback. You got to have somebody watching him there.
He killed us all game with it.
Containing all game. Every
yeah,
time,
no, he was able to run on us the entire night. And
every time, whether or not he actually ran,
we just got outside the pocket.
That backside was always open.
And how do we call 2 timeouts and not get the stop? Like worst case, even if they do score, we can drive down the field with those 2 timeouts. Granted, I don't know how our offense was able to.
Well, at the most, call 1 timeout. I did not understand the second one. I know it's a big play in the game, but you gotta save that
give
timeout.
One of those for the offense.
Exactly, just in case what happened.
That wasn't even the worst coaching blunder of that quarter. I mean, you go out down right before we're about to kick the first field goal. You have Lewerke and the rest of the first team offense on the field.
They don't know what they're doing.
No, there's no plan whatsoever. As the clock's running out, and that's what led to the 12 men on the field ultimately, is that everyone's just standing around there
chaos.
like, what are we doing? And obviously someone's not going to get off the field if you just don't know.
And I think there's got to be something going on there between the offensive coordinator and D'Antonio where either the offensive coordinator is thinking we can get one play in or, and that call has to go through D'Antonio, obviously, because it's the last play of the game. And I think there's just a miscommunication in that process there.
To be fair to him, he did look like he actually cared that we screwed up at the end of the game.
Shook.
He looked like oh God, I've screwed this up.
That was supposed to be the night where he overtook the all-time winningest Michigan State football coach.
Yeah, which we still should get at this point sometime this year, but
he only needs one more win, so I'd hope at this point.
Yeah,
you get it.
I don't see us losing every Big Ten team, especially since we have to play Rutgers. But no, this was far and away the roughest Michigan State game I can think of.
Yeah, no, it's just a mess, and I mean, I guess we're gonna have to see moving forward. Like, do you think there's a way we can, still compete for the Big Ten potentially, or
No.
we just have too many problems?
This game proved that our offense just isn't good enough.
I mean, if you're looking for a silver lining, I guess it could be that this was not a Big Ten game. If you still go undefeated in the Big Ten, obviously you would get into the title game. However, I don't think any of us think that's going to happen.
I think this was the game D'Antonio finally got a wake-up call, and he either realized like changes need to be made, or he's gonna step away from the program at the end of the year.
I don't know if, well, yeah, this
I mean, I don't think he's gonna get pushed out.
He's done too much for this program to just get fired after
Yeah, exactly.
that, but it's difficult because he is such a great coach, but there's times like this, especially with the offensive play calling, where you just have to wonder, why hasn't he let these people go? Like, if it were me after this game and seeing what this offense has been through, as soon as that game ended, I'm pointing all the offensive coaches on the field, firing them.
Get out of here.
Immediately. They don't warrant
I
it.
wish, man.
Line them up one by one.
They've turned a top 5 offense in the country in like 2014 into a top 5 worst in 5 years.
We just can't even score points. We can't finish drives. We have the pieces to have a really good team, but I think it comes down to the coaching, and that's why we're not going to be able to take the next step this year.
Well, it's a tough loss for us this week, gentlemen. See if we can get back on track here. For our Michigan fans out there, you guys still undefeated after that win versus Army. Got a big game this week at Wisconsin. What do you guys think about this one?
This is Michigan's test. Last week was sort of Michigan State's first big game. I know Michigan had that close call against Army, but this is sort of the game everyone pointed to as the sort of benchmark for them. And kind of like Michigan State last week, they really can't have an offensive performance like they had against Army, against Wisconsin.
It's true. Wisconsin, like I said, is a great running back. They always have a great running back. They know they're going to control the clock. They put up a lot of points this year. So I think this is a better Wisconsin team that we've seen in the past couple of years, where it feels like in that big game they always seem to struggle. So we'll find out, because obviously Michigan coming to town, that's a big game for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just going to see how legit both these teams are here once we get into the Big Ten games, and it's going to be a good game to watch.
I do think the bye week that Michigan had should help them out. They'll recover off of that Army win, get their head straight, go into Wisconsin.
Yeah, and Michigan's still trying to implement their new offensive system that was put in place this year. So
probably much more spread offense.
Yeah, very almost West Coast in the way they're going about it.
They used to be kind of line up under center.
Yeah, no, just traditional Big Ten smash mouth is kind of where their motto's been lately. Probably the Denard Robinson era being the exception there. But
do you think that has to do with recruiting? Do you think that kids don't want to play in that grinded out ball under center, kind of offensive system there? Because you look at the NFL, that's really not what's happening. They have more of those spread out West Coast offenses now.
I mean, I wouldn't. It just doesn't look fun.
Yeah, if you're an offensive player, I don't know, is there many Big Ten teams that would just intrigue you purely off of system?
Yeah. Well, I always wondered that about Alabama. Obviously, they have Tua now, who's great. But for years, they never had a great recruited quarterback. And I wonder, just because the system that they play in, it was more about the running game there. And that's kind of like I said, what Michigan...
Build around the offensive, defensive line.
That's kind of what Michigan was like. And I wonder if they thought that was impacting recruiting there. So that's a big change.
There are also some programs, too, that... I wouldn't consider either of the Michigan programs to be this way, but especially in the South, there's some programs that purely focus on player development to try and get guys into the league, and that's their selling point, which a lot of 4- and 5-star guys will sort of take a track record of proving that, hey, your program can get you a shot at the NFL over maybe a national championship, which...
That's true.
A lot of Alabama's quarterbacks, even if they've gotten to the league, they really haven't panned out in the NFL. So...
Sure, there's a lot of good Big Ten players better in the NFL. Obviously, there's a lot of good SEC players as well, but
Yeah, Big Ten, especially on the defensive side of the ball, you get a lot of top guys coming out of Michigan State, Ohio State, Michigan.
Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Kirk Cousins,
Captain Kirk.
Connor Cook.
I don't know
Yeah,
about that
that's
one.
a stretch.
All great quarterbacks in the
Tom
NFL.
Brady's backup.
Brian Hoyer.
Yep, that's true. He's in it too.
Yep.
Can we name any more? Russell Wilson.
Drew Stanton.
Yeah, Russell
Drew
Wilson.
still around?
Stanton. That's cheap, man.
He's a second round pick.
Trevor Simeon, Northwestern.
Oh, nice one, Trev. That was a good one.
Yep.
Dwayne Haskins.
Is he still around?
Yeah, he just got drafted. Troy Smith.
Troy Smith.
Remember that one?
Won the Heisman.
Yeah, he did. I think he was on the Ravens for a little bit there.
Yeah.
Definitely not anymore.
No, definitely not anymore. Is that all of them? They got most of them.
Cardale was on
Yeah.
the Chargers practice squad.
Cardale Jones.
Threw that touchdown to Matt Sokol, I want to say.
Look at all these
I
stars in
think
the
Matt,
NFL.
Matt Sokol was on the roster.
Yeah, no, he's that's our big story of the week, actually. He's been promoted into the Chargers sort of active roster. They had a tight end go down last week.
Hunter
So-
Henry.
Hunter Henry, yep.
Double H.
It's going to be out for a few weeks, so get Rochester Adams High School alumni, Matt Sokol, Michigan State alumni. It's on an active NFL roster.
He's on the team.
He
Made
actually he traveled to Detroit last week.
I saw that.
Yeah,
It was his homecoming game.
of course.
Get the fans excited.
Rivalry game.
Chargers Lions. Who can lose first? Yeah, but big games like we said for Michigan State. Does Michigan State play this weekend?
I want to say they do.
Yeah, we play
I don't even
Northwestern.
care.
Dude, I'm just
Northwestern.
waiting for basketball season at this point.
That's true. And we'll get into that more when it comes around.
Yeah, hopefully they work on some stuff with the offense, because if they get it at least competent, they should beat Northwestern. But can you really be confident in that at this point?
Predictions: Michigan, Wisconsin. What do you guys got?
I mean, I got to go with Wisconsin here. I think it's going to be
Off the home team.
a little bit of a high-scoring game. Let's go like 35-27.
Okay.
Wisconsin's out on top.
I think in my initial prediction, I said that Wisconsin would win this game. But I've kind of had a change of heart here. I think Michigan off the bye will just about squeak
Yeah, one of the rare instances where like an early bye week might end up helping them.
it. Yeah.
I'm going Michigan 23-17 over the Badgers. Gotta show respect to my Michigan friends out there. So I'm going to pick you guys to win this. Although, if you've been watching me in those fancy football pods, whoever I pick usually loses. So that might not be a good thing for you guys. But rolling with Michigan this week. Wolverines.
Michigan State predictions?
Now they'll lose.
3-0.
They'll lose, yeah.
Our def-
6-4. Look at two safeties.
Coglins knocks down like 1 to 4 field goals.
Yeah. 6-5. One safety, one field goal.
Perfect.
Just missed it.
I think we're like favored by 10 points in that game.
That's a mistake.
I know.
Want to talk about any other big games in college football? Because there's one that really stands out here.
What do you got for us, Trev?
Notre Dame, Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Top 10 matchup there. I don't, does anyone... Well, I got to rephrase this. I feel like the only people that like the Irish went to Notre Dame, right?
Or have Irish heritage and
Exactly.
Yeah.
associate with that.
Some fake fans right there.
It's
though.
one of those polarizing teams, I feel like, in college football. So I think most people will probably root for Georgia. I think Georgia's obviously going to be
I feel
favored.
like Notre Dame's always overranked.
Yeah, and they're probably the most overrated program in college football.
Although I will say,
Or Michigan.
I could see them winning this game. Because I could see them winning this game and somehow making their way into the college football playoff and then
Getting
having,
destroyed.
Yeah, exactly. It's the game that I feel like they would win because it's in the regular season, big game for them. It should be a really good game. So
I like Georgia personally. I think
Bulldogs.
there's going to be two SEC teams, and they're going to be in the conversation for that second one that gets into the playoff.
Oh,
It's going to be between them and LSU.
that's true.
LSU looks good too.
Yeah.
No, they always look good at the beginning
Yeah.
until they get going in there.
That Texas win, I know Texas is another one of those sort of faux programs lately, but they looked convincing in that, especially at the end of that game.
They did. I don't think we talked about that though the last couple of weeks.
No, but
List out there.
This was a good game, though.
Hook 'em.
Hook 'em.
Horns.
You had
Yeah,
Matthew
there you go.
McConaughey all disappointed on the
All right,
sidelines.
all right,
He was,
all right.
He was there teaching a class at University of Texas now, too.
I would love to take that class.
I thought he was on those leaking commercials.
Well,
He's
he
got some
still
friends
is.
out now.
He's come back to those. But
The world turns. And turn with it. Isn't that what he says?
Something like that.
honestly, it's always some condescending, car commercial
Nothing
thing.
to do with a car.
I don't think he knows what's going on in those ads.
Are we driving cars or are they driving us?
It's a great question. He's playing pool. The ball's spinning around. Great ads.
Yeah. I'm gonna do some quick score predictions here. Anyone picking Charlotte over Clemson?
Oof. I
No.
think it could be a close game. I think Clemson will probably pull at the end, but maybe a 3-point game.
I gotta say, when I was deciding to go to colleges, Charlotte was actually my second choice. I almost
Wow.
went there as a university, but I didn't. So
Fun fact.
yeah,
Getting a little personal here.
Clemson probably 63 to 3.
Ah,
Same for Alabama Southern Miss here.
man, why do they play those
Are they
games?
playing Bama?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's what he just
It's not
said.
even fair. Oh, I
Jeez.
thought I see what's going on.
Listening there?
No,
Yeah,
I'm
no.
half asleep over here.
that's going to be another sort of blowout. Another good game this week though. It's sort of not as high profile. It's in the SEC. Got Auburn, Texas A&M.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm going to go Auburn. Didn't Charles Barkley go there?
yeah,
Yeah.
you did.
Knucklehead.
Jimbo
He
Fisher
says-
though at Texas A&M really hasn't been convincing since he moved there from
Terrible.
Florida State,
Great name, though, Jimbo.
of course. So I'm going with the Tigers there too.
Go Tigers.
It's an excellent pick there, Trev. I'm sure we'll remember all these picks next week.
They're documented.
Oh, wow. Is that all? That's all we got? I
Yeah,
think that's all the picks you got for this week there, Trev. Thanks for bringing those to our attention, though.
of course. It's the big. I love Saturday football. I gotta say it's better
it's
than
good, man.
Sunday.
Well,
It's tailgate season.
I like Sunday football.
Well, that's why there's a day for
There's
everyone.
no wrong answer.
That's true, Trev. There is a day for everyone on the weekend.
Of course.
Well, it's all we got for you guys this week. Thanks for tuning in.
See you guys next week.
You're actually seeing our faces today too, so hopefully you've enjoyed.
Forgot that was there.
Yeah. Probably not looking at the camera until now. So see ya.
Peace.